Well, this episode, it's all about the Japanese wrestling. First, we got the season finale of season 9 of ChocoPro with 162, with the main event being a triple threat match for the Asia Dream Tag Team titles. Can the Best Bros wins? We'll see about that. We also got more on the G1 Climax by New Japan Pro Wrestling, going to day 9 with A block action. We're also going to review two different Joshi promotions that happened in the early May from Stardom and, of course, World Woman Pro Wrestling Diana. So, let's get started with another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that it's pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Gerard here. So, let's begin with the season finale of Choco Pro number 162. And of course, this is one of the most funnest matches and events ever happening. I can't wait for season 9, but also please remember, season 9 was the very first time Emi Sakura wasn't there. We all know where she's at. She flew over the pond, headed to AEW full time, but she's not alone. There's Lulu Pencil who's joining her. You might have seen her on AEW Dark. So, this is I have to say, with them running the show without her, even though she's the one who does the matchmaking from afar, I think there is a pretty good success. So, let's start with the first match. Originally, it was supposed to be a tag team match with Dragon Ninja teaming up to take on Tokiko Kirihara and Cherry. But however, it was revealed by Balianaki in the start of the show that Sarui wasn't feeling too well. She was having like a illness. Hopefully she's okay. But the entire match was fun. Basically, it started out more of a 2-on-1 scenario. As you know, Cherry and Tokiko got along great. But at some point, I knew that one of them were going to stab each other in the back to pick up the win. That's how it works. In triple threats, there is no friends. But it happened. But luckily, Chon Shiru actually took that as an advantage to win the match. And I have to say, he was smart enough to think outside the box. Now, our next match is a singles competition. We got Ayano Iri taking on the Tropical Pineapple Yuna Mizumori. This match was crazy. Not only that, Ayano was using her little charm to get into her head. Did it work? Yes and no. But Yuna is so hell-bent. If you ever seen her, she does not give up easily. However, when she finally got Ayano to put her away in the pitfall, it was already game over. Trust me, that's how it was. Now, this was the biggest challenge in the Best Bros career. Triple threat match. Now, keep in mind, the Best Bros don't have to be submitted. They don't have to be pinned. Anybody could do that. We had Tango teaming with Masahiro Takanashi versus Egg Tarts, Chiko Shikawa and Hanage Shoni, and of course the Best Bros. I have to say, one of the most intense, over the top matches because, as you know, the only advantage they had to deal was Hoshi Tango, who is a big guy, and he's a Latin guy who I'm assuming he's a sumo wrestler living in Japan, but that wasn't gonna stop Rei Suga. She was going to find a way to put a pin on him, but it didn't. Basically, it was in fact a double pin by both Balianaki and Meishuruga, allowing themselves to win the match. Now, who won Junkin? Well, I can tell you who did not. Balianaki did not win. Neither did May. Neither did Yuna. But I'll tell you who did. It's John Shido who won. It was great, but he dedicated his victory and eating his chocolate to his Dragon Ninja tag team partner, Saru Yi. Now, it's now been revealed that ChocoPro will return on October 13th. But, as you know, they're made it clear that they have to start putting their heads together to obtain titles. And it turns out that there are now plans to who's going to challenge Minoru Fujita for this the Super Asia World Championship. And of course, two volunteers showed up, Yuna Mizumuru and Chon. So on that day, the 13th, they will be challenging each other for those titles. And honestly, I can't wait to see that. I'm actually so anxious because I love watching the Gatoh Move stuff, especially the ChocoPro shows. They're pretty awesome. But right now, let's just move on with New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okie dokie. So we got New Japan Pro Wrestling still continuing with the G1 Climax 31. This is day number 9, and today it's all about the A block. But however, we have two special matches that not involved in the A block matches. First match we have is Kosuke Fujita taking on Kanemaru Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Now keep in mind, Kanemaru defeated the other young lion, Rohei Oiwa. It was so brutal, but you can guess right away that Kanemaru actually won this match. Now, here's the best part that takes place. As you know, Naito is gone. There's a special match for those who are supposed to challenge if they get the 2 points automatically. Okay, sorry about that. So anyway, the special person who got the match, it's none other than Bushi versus Toru Yano. Now keep in mind, Toru Yano, he is a trickster. He would do whatever it takes to win the match, even if he has to use tape, handcuffs, low blow, whatever. But it did not stop Bushi. He was also thinking a little bit ahead, but not that far ahead. They even blindfolded a few times, but however, it was the low blow that, of course, we did not witness because the monitor went crazy, as what Kevin Kelly would say. It did allow for Toru Yano to win his match. Excuse me. Now our next 4 matches is the G1 for the A block. So the first match we have is Kenta versus Great Okan. This was a match I definitely had to see. As you know, Kenta is one of the best strikers ever. As Great Okan, the most powerful. Now, I don't know if if what he was doing is trying to get the attention of Kenta to have him join United Empire. There is no way Kenta's going to join. But it was so good. It ended a little faster than normal. But of course, Kenta stole this one easily. Now, the next match is Bullet Club Showdown, Yujiro Takahashi and Tangaloa. Now, this was a match definitely was expected, but however, it looked more like Tonga wanted to have Yujiro to stop playing around and take this seriously. I think that's what he wanted, and that helped. But however, Yujiro did not win this one. Then in our next match, it's Tomohiro Ishii versus Zack Sabre Jr. These guys are no strangers with each other, and that's the reason they exist. But however, in this particular match, Tomohiro Ishii ended the undefeated streak of Zack Sabre Jr. Yes, he ended it, and he won completely. But our next match is Kota Ibushi versus Shingo Takagi. Oh my goodness, this was a good match. And I was like, wow. But the Kamigoye, oh man, great match. That's what I love about it. But it was so cool. So Kota Ibushi actually took this one. But his next challenger may not be a very harsh one or a very challenging one. But let's talk about the point-based system as you know it. Right now we have Kota Ibushi with 3 wins and 2 losses with a total of 6 points. Naito, he has 0. That means he's out. Shingo, 3 wins and 2 losses. Not bad. Similar to Ibushi. We got Zack Sabre Jr., 8 points. Toru 6 points. Tomohiro Ishii, 2 points. Yujiro, 2 points. I mean, 2. Sorry. Let's start again. Sorry, guys, my head is spinning a little bit. Okay, let's start again with the A block mostly. Of course, Kota Ibushi has 3 wins and 2 losses. That's the total points of 6. Shingo, same thing, 6 points with 3 wins and 2 losses. Zack Sabre Jr., 8 points with 4 wins and 1 loss. Toru Yano, 3 wins and 2 losses with 6 points. Tomohiro Ishii, 4 points with 2 wins and 3 losses. Yujiro Takahashi, 2 wins and 3 losses with total points of 4. Tangaloa, 2 wins and 3 losses. Kenta, 3 wins and 2 losses. And then finally, Great Khan, 6 points, 3 wins and 2 losses. So what does that mean? So the way I see it, Zack Sabre Jr. Seems like the kind of guy who could definitely win the entire thing. But we'll see what happens. But right now, let's move forward with Stardom. Okie dokie. So we got Stardom. This event took place back in May 5th, or as we call it in here in the United States, Cinco de Mayo. This is part of day 3 for the Golden Week Fight Tour. The opening match was Lady C teaming up with DDM member Himeka, who Himeka likes to call herself with Lady C Jumbo Tree, even though Lady C hates it. They're taking on against Queen's Quest, Azumi, and Momo Watanabe. Now, this was a very interesting match because, as you know, Azumi is a high-speed wrestler. She could use her speed. Momo is a striker. And that's how this whole match goes. It was Azumi who picked up the victory when she submitted Lady C and forcing her to tap out. So it was a pretty good match. Next match we have Ina of Queen's Quest taking on DDM's Tsurugi. It was a hard hitting match. As you know, Tsurugi has a background in MMA. As for Ina, she's more of a judo, just like her sisters, Rina and Hana. But the judo was not enough. Then we got Ruka taking on Julia. This was a match that I knew this is going to end differently because Ruka will not tolerate losing to someone like Julia. But however, uh, it happened, It just basically Julia was the far more better wrestler. Then we have Hanan taking on Micah of DDM. This is a crazy match as possible. Himeka is one of the most toughest individuals in DDM and mostly in Stardom, but you know how that is. Then finally we have Mina Shirakawa taking on Natsupoi. Now Natsupoi has a grudge against Mina for two reasons. One, she is 1/3 of the artists of Stardom, which is the Trios belt, and two, she is close friends with Tam Nakano, someone that Natsupoi despise. But however, it was Natsupoi's speed that was a factor that allowed her to win. Now, the main event was the Goddesses of Stardom title for the number one contendership. We have Odatai, Konomi, and Natsuko Tora taking on Cosmic Angels, Unagi, and Tam Nakano versus Starlight Kid, and Mayu Iwatani versus QQ, which is Saya Kamitani and Utani Hayashida. Now, this is a crazy match. Anything could have gone either way. But however, in this particular match, Edge goes to what's their name? Oh yeah, the Stars. It kind of fits well because we know that they want to be the next champions, but no one has stepped up to challenge them until right now. But that's another conversation for another time. So I am enjoying what's going on with Stardom. Can't wait to review more. So let's move on with Diana. Alrighty then. So the last thing I'm going to review, this is from World Woman Pro Wrestling by Diana. So basically, we had the Golden Week. Diana presents today. I am a main character. Day 2. This took place on the 5th. No, the 2nd of May. So the main character is Haruka Umesaki. Now her first match, even though she's involved in all three, was of course someone who I see in Ice Ribbon, Riza Sarah. I have to say the match was good. I liked it, but however, it was Riza when she put her in the Boston Crab, forcing her to tap out. It gave her the edge. Next match we have a tag team with Naname and Tsukushi Haruka taking on Haruka Umesaki and Miyoko Matsumoto. It was insane. Anything could have happened, but however, it was Haruka who picked up the victory for their team, which was great. Now, the main event is a 6-woman tag team match. We have Crisis consistent of Madeline, Ayako Sato, and Jaguar Yokota taking on Luminous, which is Haruka Umesaki, and Miyuki Takase taking on Kyoko Inoue. Now, this match was nuts. I did not expect a whole lot, but it did allow for Haruka to pick up the victory for her team, which was great. But of course, the camera guy took off. But it was very great. I enjoyed. So stay tuned for day number 3. Right now, I think we're going to end it right here for all of you with the reviews. Well, as you know already, I have a new podcast episode that just came out. It was involving about what's going on with Stardom, the Bullet Club's so-called Civil War or whatever they're gonna go in with, Jungle Kiona, and many other things. But you probably will enjoy it. But coming up for the next episode, we have New Japan Pro Wrestling with Day 10 for the G1 Climax, then AEW Dark Elevations, and then two events that just came out. One by United Wrestling Network Primetime Supercard that took place on the 2nd of October, taking also going to review Squared Circle Wrestling or 2CW with Older, Fatter, and Balder. And the main event features the Dark Order. This took place on the 1st of May. I'm excited to review all of these, but right now I'm a little tired. Need some sleep, but I'll see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah, and have a nice day. Bang.